Good morning and welcome to another episode of Morning Java, brought to you as always by our friends at the Get Go Cafe and Market, where, as John and I learn firsthand on a fairly regular basis, they have healthy stuff.
They do, and I know people look at me and say, "Oh, he never eats anything healthy," but occasionally I
don't do that.
especially in January.
That's right, we're all cooped up inside. The other thing that happens in January that's near and dear to both of our hearts as voters is Major League Baseball's Hall of Fame announcement. That happened yesterday, and it's not a surprise to me who got in, and it's not a surprise that Barry Bonds isn't in. Do you think he'll get in?
I wonder now. His vote total was pretty flat. He'd been gaining each year here for the last 4 years. Now all of a sudden he only picked up like 1 percentage point of the vote. He's still a little under 60. You need 75 to get in. He's going to have to hope there's a whole influx of new voters here in the next 3 years.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it's going to take, isn't it? Because I think there are people like myself who have made up their minds, and I really have. I will not vote for him. You and I obviously differ on that. But my point here is that because I won't change my vote, and a lot of people won't change their vote, it is going to take new people coming into the Baseball Writers Association. Where's that going to happen in this industry?
True. There aren't too many people who stay in the media industry for 10 consecutive years, let alone cover baseball for 10 consecutive years. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. I think you have a lot of the younger voters. Steroids is what they knew. That's what they grew up as
Right, it's the default.
Yeah,
they don't see it as cheating.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that is what they knew. That's their frame of reference. I'm not passing judgment by any means, but that's what they knew. So it's going to be interesting. I don't think he's going to. If you'd asked me 2 days ago, I'd have said, yeah, he'll be in, but not now.
At the same time, when you look at the Hall selection process, once you get later into a person's voting, and you can only stay on the ballot for 10 years, there's going to be a class or two along the way that's going to be really thin on current guys. And that's when there's an extra pressure, I think, on the voting portion to say, well, we're not just going to have nobody go in.
Yeah, and there you go. That's where they could get in, him and Clemens. I kind of look at them as a coupled entry because
they should be.
Yeah. 2020, next year, Derek Jeter is on the ballot, so I think obviously he's going to get in. 2021, though, no surefire guy is going to be on the ballot in 2021. That also will coincide with their 9th year on the ballot.
Right.
So maybe they pick up some momentum that year. But this is going to be fascinating to see. They've got 3 more years. They both have to be disappointed they didn't gain much ground in this election. But again, in 3 years, things can change. But right now, I would have changed my bet from on Monday. I would have betted before the election, yes, they will get in. To now, I would have to go the other way and say, no, I don't think they're going to get in.
So, John, from what I understand, the Pirates' chances of competing in 2019 just went through the roof because they're getting both Manny Machado and Bryce Harper. And I guess they're sending Marte to the Dodgers for Jock Peterson. And it's just all... How does stuff like that get started?
Well,
you know this better than anybody.
It has changed so much in the social media era. And I'm not one of these old-timers that say, oh, I hate social media. I don't want anything to do with it. But the downside to social media is one person can throw out a rumor and say Manny Machado, the Pirates are his mystery team. And a lot of people believe it. And all of a sudden, they're asking... legitimate people who cover sports, why don't you have this? Well, here's the reason. It's not true. And then they want to know, well, how do you know it's not true? And it's like, well, I've been doing this for like 1,000,000 years, and I know people, and they tell me it's not true, and they're trusted people who've told me things in the past that are correct, and I have no reason to doubt them.
My policy on this stuff, and this goes across sports, not just baseball, has been it's not my job to clean up other people's messes. So if someone puts out something like, the Machado thing, or even, whatever came out of Los Angeles, NBC Sports on Marte, I don't feel like it's in my job description to go checking on what they did. I'm going to make my own reporting from my own conversations with my own people that I'm talking to. Yeah. And if I don't have it, I don't have it.
Exactly. That's
simple as
a good way to approach it. The only reason I checked out the Machado thing, and I was only sheepish when I made a couple calls when asked because it was so ridiculous. They thought maybe I'd flip my lid. But, it was out there, and I'm thinking, well, they do need a shortstop.
They do need a shortstop.
And if they did sign him, they would still have the 22nd lowest payroll in baseball.
And the lowest in the Central.
So there's at least maybe a 0.12% chance that this could happen.
And then sanity prevailed.
And it was snapped right back to reality. You know this is ridiculous. Why are you asking? Well, just checking.
Okay, so you just killed everybody's mood here. You know, no Machado and what are they going to do at short? What are they going to do?
You know, and I know I feel like I should just put this on an index card and hand it out to people. I've answered it this way so many times.
Yep.
But Freddie Galvis is the guy they like on the free agent market. He played for the Phillies for 6 years with the Padres last year. He's not an all-star, but he's a solid big league shortstop. Has a little bit of power, which they certainly could use some home run pop. He's a good fit there. He is looking for 2 years, which I understand. If I were a player, I'd want a multi-year deal too. The Pirates only want him for 1 year. They don't want to commit. That's the guy they want, and if they don't get him, most likely Jose Iglesias, who's been the Tigers shortstop the last 6-7 years, will be the fallback option.
And it's not the guys who are in the fold. It's not Eric Gonzalez. It's certainly not Kevin Newman.
Talking to people with the Pirates, I mean, publicly they have to say that. They're certainly going to run
and
down
I respect
the
that. That's
guys
not a
on
shot
the
at
roster.
But it's not them.
Yeah, but no. And I think maybe Kevin Newman's a shortstop in the big leagues. Maybe Eric Gonzalez is a utility guy. He could be a good utility guy, but he's a utility guy. They feel if they're going to contend, and they insist that they're going to contend as good as the division is, then they know they need a regular, everyday shortstop that's been proven in the big leagues.
Certainly one who can catch the ball.
Absolutely.
Above and beyond anything else. And this is the thing that gets me. And I look at Jordy Mercer as being everything that they needed. And I know when I say that, there's a lot of people who go, oh, he was only this, he was average this, he was. Yeah, he was. He was average this. He was, I think, slightly above average defensively, a lot of the things that he could do range-wise, especially going to his right, turning the double play, solid. Had a little bit of pop.
Yeah.
Started off each season slow, but ended up with decent numbers. Why was there never, ever an attempt to keep this player?
Well,
other than the obvious.
One thing is, now I didn't see this with my own eyes. I didn't think so, but you know, the Pirates rely a lot on analytics, metrics, what have you. A couple Pirate people insisted to me that his analytically his defense had really slipped last year.
I could see that actually.
And I
not
could
really
see that
slipped,
too,
but
the
slipped.
way they talk, like they thought it really slipped. I didn't see that. I mean, he's certainly not a Gold Glover. He never was, but I didn't think he was a real liability to the field either. But they were just determined at the end of the year they were moving on from Mercer and Josh Harrison. That's just the way it was going to be, and they have. I mean, Josh Harrison's still sitting on the free agent market, and I think Josh Harrison would help a lot of teams, including the Pirates. I would feel better with him at second base than Adam Frazier.
But once they make up their minds,
you're right.
and I can see, I'm all right with Frazier getting the second base job. You can't make up your minds in a vacuum and then not replace those guys. That's the part that gets me.
Exactly. And I think the free agent market is just so slow that they figure if they wait it out, eventually they're going to get a guy at their price.
At the end of March.